Hi, today you will be knowing the autobiography of Louis Pasteur, who was born on December 27, 1822 in Jura region of France. His father, Jean-Joseph Pasteur, was a tanner and a surgeon major who was decorated with honor during the Napoleon Wars. Pasteur earned his bachelor's degree in science, arts and also doctorate. He became the professor of chemistry in Strasbourg University and also met his wife Marie. He devoted his entire life for the medical discoveries and also provided a support for the theory of germs, which is also called bacteria in science. Now, why is it called bacteria? That is because first time when they saw bacteria, it was in the shape of a little thin rod or a stick. Now, what is this bacteria? It is a microscopic living organisms that is found everywhere in the air, water, soil and even in animal and plant bodies. It could be dangerous if it is infected, but in some cases it is also beneficial. He is remembered for his remarkable breakthroughs in the cause and prevention of diseases, and due to which he saved a lot of lives. He helped people who were brewers, breeders of silkworm, cow keepers and also various people running different industries. He also solved difficulties that the chemist, scientist faced. The reason behind this was he used to sit idle and immovable for hours together thinking about this problem and also used to get solutions for this. Whenever he found solution for any problem, he used to run to his wife and explain his solution and felt happy. In the year 1854, Pasteur became the head of science department in the University of Lille. Now, Lille is a city in France known as a center for merchants. And here is where he began studying about fermentation. He was interested in the study of why living organisms or living things decay. For example, why the milk gets sour, why the meat goes bad, or even why wine ferments. And he started giving lectures on them. One of the main manufacturing industries in Lille was alcohol from beetroot. He started his experiments or research on them. In one of the breweries, the alcohol or the beer was not good. While he sorted the situation, he learned a lot about yeast. What is this yeast? Yeast is a single cell organism. When the cells are healthy, the yeast also will be good. If the cells in this are not healthy, then the yeast will go bad. Where do we use this yeast? One, of course, in the beer and alcohol. And in the second way, we can use this in the bread or bun slightly to raise them up. Louis continued his experiments on yeast. One day, he gets a doubt on one particular question. That is, do germs form from the other germs or do the germs are formed by themselves? He thought the germs are carried through the air and could be infected anybody who came in contact with these germs. But there were other perspectives about this. They believed that germs had no parents and it was a spontaneous creation, and they also called this process as spontaneous generation. To disprove this spontaneous generation, Louis did a lot of experiments. Now, let me explain one of his experiments. He placed the two bottles and poured soup in it. And the shape of the bottle was such that it had a narrow neck with a long bend and a little slight bend also in between the tube. He heated both of these bottles. The first bottle had no germs in it. Now, that is because the long bend in between the tubes. It had no space to travel and the bottle had no germs in it. In the second bottle, he tilted it slightly and made sure the soup traveled all along the long tube and settled in the middle of the bend. Now this second bottle had germs in it. Now that is because of the dust traps that had settled in the middle of the bottle. To show the difference between the pure and the impure air, he did an experiment with the same shaped bottles and also soup in it. He used to broke off the neck of the bottle and made sure the air would travel easily into the bottle and left it for few minutes. After some time, he used to seal the bottle. He did this experiment in 3 different locations. Firstly, in a hotel room, where the air would hardly ever change. When he opened the bottle, he saw that the soup was mouldy. He did the same experiment in the second location, in the open field. When he opened the bottle and saw the soup was mouldy but not as the previous one. And the third location was on mountain. He opened the bottle and saw the soup had no germs in it. An important thing to remember here is, if you boil anything to 50 to 60 degrees centigrade, then the germs would become harmless. This process was brought by Louis Pasteur. Therefore, they named this process as pasteurization. In case if you hear anything called pasteurized milk, pasteurized wine, that means they have sealed that product and made sure that no germs would be entering in it. Pasteur founded the branch of science called bacteriology, where he spent a lot of time experimenting and studying about bacteria. One such cause was with the silkworm industry. Pasteur believed that this infectious disease was caused due to the bacteria that entered into the blood and started multiplying, due to which there were a lot of diseases that was being caused. Anthrax is an infection which is caused by a bacteria, and the symptoms may occur from 1 day and 2 months if the infection is being contracted. Now in this pandemic situation, it was there in France and also in different parts of Europe, killing large number of sheep and also attacked humans. Therefore, Lewis started his experiments and studies on this particular topic. He believed that if a germ has been injected to the weak and infected, then they would be getting some strength to face this disease in the near future. But this was not accepted by all the people. But there were few scientists who wanted Lewis to prove this experiment publicly. In the public demonstration before many observers, Lewis did his experiment. He divided his experiments in 2 different lots. In the first set of experiment, he had 24 sheep, 1 goat and 6 cows. He had same number of animals in the second set of experiments. He put a vaccine or the germ for the first set of animals, and he left the second set of animals without injecting anything. On another day, he injected this germ for both the animals. And after a few days, everybody gathered to see the result. And the result was shocking. The first set of animals were alive, but the second set of animals were dead, and some were having fever and was also swollen. Lewis was appreciated for the experiment that he did and which was successful. Many people wrote to him for these germs, and from then they called this as a vaccine and not a germ. Lewis did his last experiment on people who were bitten by a dog or a mad dog which was being infected with a deadly virus. If this virus was transmitted into the human body, then the humans may die. He injected the same vaccine to the boy for the very first time. And the mother of the boy said, "If you can cure animals, you can cure my son." And finally, he injected this vaccine to that boy, and the boy finally recovers. After doing various experiments and studying about the vaccines for different diseases, Luise was also able to give vaccine for typhoid and fever for people who are going for the First World War, where the illness was of low rate for people who are on the war fields, and this was a major contribution by Luise. Luise started Institute of Pasteur, which was a non-profit private foundation which was dedicated to the study of biology, microorganisms, diseases and vaccines. On his 70th birthday, where he was honored, he said, "The future belongs to those who have been done the most of the suffering for humanity." And for youngsters, he said, "Ask yourself, what have you done for your education? What have you done for your country?" Somewhere you would find the supreme happiness, and in the conscious way you will be able to contribute to the welfare of the human and also to the humanity. So finally, what is the takeaway from this chapter? Anything that you do has to be done with 100% of dedication and also with purpose and a pinch of humanity, and then you will find success following you. That's all with this chapter. I'm going to meet you in the next chapter.